Aaron Judge, no stranger to hitting 60 home runs in a season, but we certainly aren't going to put a FanDuel win total or even DraftKings at 60. So Sam, our producer, set it at 55. Aaron Judge will hit 55 plus home runs this year. You going to buy or sell?
All right, Aaron Rodgers here.
Oh, there
Aaron,
he is.
What do you think? What do you think, Aaron? Can you hit 55? Aaron Judge, right? Got it in my head here. 55 is asking a lot, Sam. It's asking a lot. He hit 53 last year, 58 the year before, 37, but that was the year he hurt his toe in Dodger Stadium, and then, of course, 62. I got to sell this. All right, you're asking for just to be 7 home runs off the record? I mean, no, he can't keep doing this every year here. Plus, he does have an injury history there. Over the last 2 years, he's been completely healthy. I'll just say no. Between possibility of an injury, teams waking up and going, nope, not pitching to him, I'll take the under here. Although, as a Yankee fan, he better. Because if he don't, Yankees going to be in a lot of trouble.
So I've decided to go by the letter of the law. Sam is not going to like this. Sam is not going to like my answer. Yep. Sam, listen, Sam leaves these little loopholes in the buy or sell. 55 home runs between 55 plus the regular season, postseason, World Baseball Classic, buy. Spring training, buy. Above 55 between spring training, World Baseball Classic, regular season, and postseason. Aaron Judge will hit 55 home runs. He didn't say this season. He didn't say this season. He said this year. The graphic says this year.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day here on the grid on a fabulous Thursday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time, watching, analyzing, and of course, betting on the world of sports. What do we have tonight, you ask, Scott? How about the NBA's version of Major League in play tonight? College basketball's #1 over team is in play tonight. So is one of the absolute best under clubs. Olympic hockey off to a great start for Team USA and Canada with relatively easy wins this afternoon. We'll break it all down. Tom Becky will join us, do a little golf with Brady Cannon as well before we're through. So a lot to get to. Hopefully making a couple of shekels along the way. First up, though, it is game time. What's betting you off tonight, Gabe?
Well, I guess it depends on what side of the totals that you were on today in the Olympic men's ice hockey games. If you had the over in U.S.-Latvia, that literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark staying under the number, despite the fact that Leon Draisaitl scores 23 seconds into the game. Tim Stützle scores shortly after. And I tell you what, man, don't sleep on the Germans. All right, they've come a long way when it comes to hockey, and as I said before the tournament started, you got Leon Draisaitl on your team. You got a puncher's chance, and he scored 2 goals today for the Germans. But I tell you what, the NHL players in the Olympics, it looks like it's going to live up to the hype. That was some high level hockey that we saw from Team Canada, dominant performance, and then the USA said, "Hold my beer," and they looked awesome as well. So. Business about to pick up. It's going to be a great week and a half of hockey in Milan.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Already bad beats. 1 day in, basically, and you already have it. You're right. I don't like that phrase either, because if you look, you'll find a bad beat in every single game, whether it's an over, an under, a prop, points total, whatever the case may be, right? So, but that is a tough one for sure. Opening pickoff time. We start the show up with the four of our better plays, and then we kind of go from there. Game. I'll start off college basketball game, just tipping off by Saluki, Southern Illinois, hosting a bad Evansville team. Over under. Let's go under 142.5. Why? This is one of those better under teams I referred to there earlier. How about a nice 12-2 under run for my Salukis? 12-2 under last 14 games. They're at home. They control the tempo. Evansville stinks. I'm surprised the number's 140.5, to tell you the truth. So, but I'll bite. Give me the under in this one.
One of my many handicapping flaws is I don't play enough unders. I just hate doing it. So I always approach things from an over perspective, but we talk about it. We leave a lot of sort of profitable situations. You know, we'll bet a team, Denver 19-4 to the over, but if a team is 19-4 to the under, you're like, yeah, but that number's pretty low. It's pretty light. I'm going to chase the overs. And is an over better tonight, guys? 5 of my 8 pickup picks are totals tonight, to the over, actually. I find tonight in college basketball, starting off with the Vermont and Binghamton game has already started, but a lot of games in the mid 130s, low 130s. We have some really low tier conferences playing tonight for the most part. A classic example, Coastal Carolina and ULL. So we got some Sunbelt action. Louisiana, Lafayette, they've scored 80 or more in 2 of their last 4 games. Meanwhile, Coastal have scored 83 or more in 3 of their last 5. And we got a total of like 130.5, 131. Let's go over the number, Coastal Carolina and ULL.
All right. Speaking of low-level conferences, how about the Summit League? Let's go there for my second choice, Gabe. Another under. I'm going to kind of be opposite of you as far as the plays are concerned, not necessarily the games, but I'm going to grab the under 146.5 Kansas City, the Roos against the Oral Roberts. Both of these teams just absolutely suck. How bad, you ask? They've combined for 21 straight losses. Kansas City 8, Oral Roberts 13 straight losses. We're going to play the game because KC is one of my automatic under teams. This is their last chance. They've been on an overrun. I'll admit that, 6-2 over, but they were really good to start the season under. The series is 5-1 under between these two teams. Kind of a last chance here for Kansas City to live up to its billing of being an under club. Give me the under one more time, 146.5 Kansas City versus Oral Roberts.
We're going to go over Louisiana Tech and Missouri State. 4 of the last 5 Louisiana Tech games have gone over this number. And in fact, it's 133 right now. So it came down like significantly. I posted this earlier and it was like 135.5, 136, like 3 hours ago. 133 a tip-off right now. And I just don't get this one. As I stated, 4 of Louisiana Tech's last 5 games have gone over this number. Missouri State have scored 71 or more points, guys, in 9 of their last 10 games. And I got to get to 133 tonight? I mean, the odds makers are expecting these teams to play into the 60s this evening, but I think they can get there. Let's go Louisiana Tech, Missouri State over the number.
All right. Desperation time when you go to the OVC, but we're going to do it just out of spite because we went against this god-awful biggest waste of human flesh in basketball uniform Western Illinois team last time out. Remember, they actually won a game against Eastern Illinois, only their 5th win on the season, 5-21, only their first win in conference play in the Ohio Valley. They're hosting Little Rock. You know, Little Rock is 6-8. They're halfway decent. I mean, they're better than 5-21, 1-14. So there's no way in the world this Leathernecks team is going to win 2 in a row. Give me Little Rock laying the 6.5. I think they get the cover. If I'm thinking they're going to win, then I think they're going to get the cover as well, Gabe.
Here's a degenerate special in which I just kind of don't understand the line of this game, and it's Southeast Missouri State and SIU Edwardsville. They're both hot. So, you know, I'll tip my cap. Southeast Missouri State, they're on a 6-game win streak. They come into this basketball game with a nice, 15-10 record. But Edwardsville are 16-9. They're 7-4 at home, and they've won 6 of their last 7 games. And I'm getting 1 point on their home court. Like I said, if I'm walking into a trap, I'm walking into a trap here. And, oh, yeah, by the way, if you're thinking, well, you know what, maybe Southeast Missouri State dominates them. No. Edwardsville already beat them, so it is a revenge spot. And in fact, they beat them by 13 points on the road already. And now it's +1, so short of half the team getting suspended for betting at FanDuel or something like that, and I don't know about it, give me SIU Edwardsville plus the 1.
You might have that. You never know, right? I made reference to NBA's version of Major League is in play tonight. That would be the Utah Jazz. They're hosting Portland. Line is down to 6. So if you want to grab Portland now, you can. I maybe put it in the graphic. Might say 7.5, but I'm going to take Portland here, laying the 6, 7, 7.5, depending on what your line is against the Utah Jazz. Why are they baseball's version of Major League? If you remember that baseball movie, right? Great movie, goofy movie, but great movie. The team wants to win, and the owners in the press box wanting the team to lose. Well, that's what's happening with this Utah Jazz. About a week and a half ago, they basically told the NBA world, we don't want to win. Our starters are not playing the 30, 35 minutes. They're only going 20 minutes. We're going to use guys all the way down. Player number 12, 13, 14, 15 on the bench are getting major minutes. So what's happening? They're winning. They're 3-2 their last 5 games, including 2 straight wins. If you're Will Hardy, you've been there for 4 years now. You're the head coach. I can imagine what those meetings are like, getting fired for winning basketball games. Major League, give me Portland. If the Jazz really don't want to win, I'm guessing they're going to show the world tonight they really don't want to win. Last game before the All-Star break. Give me Portland laying the 6 or 7.
Portland are actually facing a Utah team. Utah aren't even playing their guys tonight, so they're not playing Johnson. There's no marketing tonight, so they're not even hiding it. They're going to change the rules because of this, because of the Utah Jazz, essentially, and what they're doing. There's a lot of talk right now about they got to come up with the date, but you know what? Freeze, you know what I mean? You can't improve your lottery chances after like February 1st or after, right? There's going to have to be something to be done. This wouldn't be happening if these thirds still alive.
No, it wouldn't. That's for sure. All right, Big Game Live continues here on the Grid.
Dallas Cowboys. They're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Ridge, just underway. Scott and Gabe. Interesting little note we'll get to in the NFL as well. I was listening on the radio. Interesting name that is not getting invited for some reason to the NFL Combines, at least not yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But opening pickoff, I got 4 under Evansville, Southern Illinois, under Kansas City, Oral Roberts, Little Rock laying the 6.5 against Western Illinois, and then Portland laying the 6 or 7 or so against Utah. I know, Gabe, you got one more on your plate.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of degenerate games tonight, but I actually like them. I feel good about hitting these overs tonight. So Coastal Carolina, Lafayette over 131. Louisiana Tech, Missouri State over to 133. It came down. SIU Edwardsville plus the 1 on the money line. And NASCAR season is back. So just like that, the Super Bowl is done, and then boom, NASCAR is back. We have the Daytona 500 this weekend, and we've got the duels going on right now. We have the first duel going on, and you got the second duel coming up, and I'll give a pick for the second duel momentarily here. But listen, NASCAR, it's a fun sport to bet on. And it's very similar to betting on golf. We talked about it briefly last night with Cam, but I've discussed this with Brady in the past as well. Similar situations, guys. Like, all right, golf, you've got 75 or 140, depending on the field, the tournament, etc. But, 25 to 1, 30 to 1, 8 to 1. NASCAR, same thing. What, you got 42 cars on the track? So you got 42 cars. Hard, you know what I mean? It's hard to pick a winner. and the thing is, car racing, it's freaking random, man. Like, you need luck. You need a fast car. You need not to get caught up in a wreck. You need, not to run out of gas, especially in NASCAR. Like, literally and figuratively, it's happened to me before where it's like my dude ran out of gas. Like, you know what I mean? We're 500 feet before the finish line. And it's they gambled and they lost. Or you're winning for 3 hours and somebody takes you out, or even more annoyingly, full disclosure, some of these NASCAR races, they got to shorten them. They're too long. Right, so it's 6 hours, man, and you're in 5th place all day, and then one crash, you're like, oh, I'm out of the race. So you got to sort of sprinkle, take 3-4 guys, but then it gets tricky because really, like every other sport, Scott, the same guys kind of win all the time, right? There's a handful, 6 to 8 guys that kind of win more than it's random, and every few weeks it'll be, I can't believe this guy won at 50 to 1, but for the most part. It's, Joey Logano, you know what I mean? We go over to the Kingpins, Blaney, etc.
Brad Keselowski,
Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, right? Kyle Larson's it sort of goes in waves.
Chase
Larson's
Elliott.
the big dominant one now. Larson's the guy. So anyway, but you got to follow it on a weekly basis. So you understand the nuances of, all right, how's this team doing? And also, it's very track by track, Scott. I'm just sort of giving a handicapping 101 for NASCAR. It's very guys, the Daytona 500 and Talladega, they're the only 2 races that are plate races, right? So they're different. Everybody's going the same speed here. Other tracks, guys are getting different speeds. They kind of neutralize it here with the restrictor plate. So it's called draft racing. So you got freaking chaos, Scott. So if you're betting the Daytona 500 or Talladega, it's different than betting a short track at Bristol. It's different than betting a street race. It's completely different. So NASCAR is cool like that. I'm more of an F1 guy now, but F1 can get stale, Scott, because, it's cool tracks and they're street tracks and stuff, but it's always kind of the same. People criticize NASCAR a lot for left, but it really isn't. NASCAR is pretty interesting. They're trying. They got the street race in Chicago. They're going to have a street race around the White House next anniversary, this summer. You know what I mean? They'll do ovals. They'll do street races. They'll do the stadiums. They're trying, right? I mean, they go to L.A., bro. Who thinks NASCAR in South Central and Watts? You know what I mean? They're let's do a NASCAR race where USC plays in the Coliseum, right? They are thinking outside the box to try to make it entertaining, and I give them credit for that. Because their ratings are down. The NASCAR isn't as big as it used to be. And I know you've covered it before. They've never really had a real big star post Earnhardt's, right? Dale Sr., remember the old, the Jeff Gordon was a big star. Jimmy Johnson was a big time.
Jimmy Johnson.
You know what I mean, Scott? Big enough that
was the heyday.
Mainstream commercials, Scott. It was Jimmy Johnson does those commercials. It was Jeff Gordon, he's a celebrity. Like they were celebrities. It was like, oh yeah, he's a big star, that guy. Like, yeah, he's a big star. They're not big stars now. Kyle Larson's the best driver. He's not a big star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ryan
Joe
Blaney.
Logano's not a big star. He's a great NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
He's not a big star. They don't have any stars that drive it anymore for them.
Yeah. They were like big in like right around that 2003, 4, 5. I remember I was working at Sporting News. That was kind of its heyday. There were fantasy leagues.
Yeah, that
guys
was really
that didn't even
starting to
follow
boom
it.
then.
Yeah, that was really
Remember
like
they went to Indianapolis around the first time around that era. A little bit before that, but it was the first time. Yeah, we're going to the Brickyard, NASCAR. You're right. And it was all those names I just talked about though. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jim Gordon, Jimmy Johnson. Right? They had villains and bad guys and like sort of, you know. It's sort of like all sports. Everybody's the same now. There's not a lot of personality. They're all kind of bland, just sort of normal dudes. They drive fast, but they're boring. And they've turned off hardcore NASCAR fans. So where I'm going with this, though, is so you got the duels. And it's basically the qualifying for the Daytona 500, which, and I'll tell you right now, qualifying doesn't matter for this because everybody crashes, Scott. It's like short track speed skating. It was just
everybody's in.
So
I was doing some research on this. The 36 guys from last year are in this year. They're guaranteed. You got 2 spots for qualifiers, and then you only have 2 for the duels. So they're going through all this rigmarole for 2 people. And then you got Jimmy Johnson
really
getting
just
free
a
pass.
practice. It's really a practice for the Daytona, and they're racing for money.
Right.
You get $250K, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like they're not racing for free. You're like the duel. There's a prize for the duel races. And it is, listen, you don't want to be in the middle, Scott, so we talk about it. So even for pole position, I say it doesn't matter, but it kind of does, right? You either want to be like, we're in the top 7 or we're sort of in the back. You're in the middle. You're just vulnerable to chaos, man.
Oh,
right? So it's sort of like guys are sort of picking their spots. Some teams would be like, I prefer to be here, so let's finish here tonight in the duel. They're also testing the new cars for the last time, but let's go with it's coming up. There's still time because this race is taking forever. I'll actually put 2 last, but Austin Cindric. We'll continue on the other side, but Austin Cindric plus 700, duel 2.
All right, more coming up. NASCAR talk here on the grid. How about that?
Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one, talking a little NASCAR. How about that? Daytona 500 coming up on Sunday. And to give you a good idea, Gabe, of what you were referring to about how it's kind of fallen off here a little bit, you got a guy, Will Byron, who's won back-to-back Daytona 500. That's the Super Bowl. That's like the Masters in golf, right? Pick a big event in your particular sport. That's what the Daytona 500 is. This guy's won back-to-back, which is unheard of, and yet it's like, who's Will Byron? You know, he's won twice. You know, so if that was Jimmy Johnson or Gordon, oh my God, you know, then it would be like into the next stratosphere. But the Will Byrons of the world don't.
It's the
don't turn the needle.
personalities. They don't have the personalities that they used to. Now there's still this few of the, and for the record, Joey Logano just won the first duel. So, and it's funny because I just said the same guys win all the time. And people always say, oh, the restrictor play races are so unpredictable. You can't bet the favorite. And I'm like, yeah, but it seems like the same guys kind of win all the time. It's one of those type of deals. Once in a while, you get the long shot. So Joey Logano is one of the dominant guys. Logano's strange in that no one likes him. So people either don't like him or he doesn't really seem to have any fans. And a lot of people hate him. Like he's got a lot of enemies on the track. He doesn't really have any fans. Blaney's kind of boring. You got Austin. No one cares about Dylan. Keselowski's been around forever. He doesn't have the same pop anymore. The second race, this next one, there's some bigger names here in this one. I'd say, Scott, now the biggest name, even though Kyle Larson is probably like the best driver now, is Denny Hamlin. Like, that's a name everyone knows. You go, Denny Hamlin, I know Denny Hamlin, right? And Denny Hamlin's kind of an evil dude on the track and stuff, so he's kind of controversial. Chase Elliott's really good, but not popular. No one cares about Austin Cindric, even though he's won the Daytona 500 before. So, yeah, give me Austin Cindric, Scott, plus 700 to win the Duel 2. We're throwing a dart here, but I'm going to go with Cindric at plus 700 to win the Duel 2 that's coming up in about 10, 15 minutes. Duel 1 just ended.
All right, he's 5-1 on FanDuel. I'm gonna go with the guy. Well,
I'm getting a good number then.
Yeah,
plus 700.
You're getting a good number. Yeah, he's the odds-on favorite. So
really,
I'm gonna.
365 has Hamlin 5-1, Elliott 6-1, Cindric 7-1.
FanDuel's got Cindric 5-1, Hamlin 550, Chase Elliott 6.5, and then Kyle Larson 7-1.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of these guys. You got to pick your poison. You can even, I guess, you want to go with 2. I can live with going with 2. But like I said, guys, it's almost like buying a bunch of lottery tickets. There's no guarantee. But in my opinion, we just talked about the winners here. Denny, I don't think Hamlin wins. I think it's Cindric, Kyle Larson, and I also wouldn't dismiss Christopher Bell. What are you getting Bell at? I got him at 700 here.
900.
Look, a lot of smart people like Christopher Bell in this dual race tonight, Scott. A lot of the DFS guys that follow this stuff closely.
All right, let me ask you a dumb question, all right? Because, I know the names and I'll watch a little bit. Been to a Daytona 500. We talked about it in a break one time. But these guys are all in the Daytona 500. So is this like completely separate? Do they get something for winning this? It's not like a qualifying thing, right? Or is it?
It is.
Yeah, Elliott and Cindric, these guys are all in. So these guys are all in already, though, right?
There's a couple of people trying to fight their way in. They got to win the duel. So, like, if you're a wild card type thing team, like, you got to win it. So, yeah, they're basically, it's for pole position, and it's the first race of the year. So it's sort of like, all right, let's get the cars going. You know what I mean? Let's see. It's sort of a nice little test. Like I said, like, that's the thing. Some guys want to win this thing. Other guys are like, yeah, dude, I just want to see, like, how my little, like, brake works here. Like, I don't like this. Like, it's sort
check
of like,
the pit stops even. How long are the races?
I want to get this done before the Daytona 500. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, one last. Right. And also the other thing is, Scott, fans. People travel for a week and stuff. You got to get more than one race.
Right.
Like F1, and as popular as F1, they're even doing these duels. They call it the sprint now. And F1 purists hated it, Scott. They're like, this is such an American thing to do. They're like, it's so tacky. They're like, what does it mean? Nothing. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, everyone's already in a race. So what do we have in these races for before? Oh, but it's a sprint. And you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, it's fun though. It's like 20 laps or 10 laps instead of, you know what I mean? So it's like, Yeah, but whatever. They're just trying to get people entertained to spend the dates. You know,
Get
you've
'em
been there.
back
People
in.
set up shop in the
Yeah.
middle. Yeah. You want
Oh,
to
it's
come? We're going to
crazy.
entertain you for like tomorrow. They'll have the truck races going. You know what I mean? You got to give people
Right.
something every day.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott for the record. I'll take him at 6.5 to 1. I've never been to a louder event in my life than a Daytona 500 with those cars.
Man,
It is
that's the
so
best sound
wow.
ever when they go like bullets past you.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid on a Thursday evening. We'll put the Daytona 500 aside, but we do have the bets on the dual races, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that for sure. Let's welcome in our good buddy Tom Vecchio, SportsGrid host. You see and hear all the time. Talk a little hockey with him, maybe a little Daytona 500. I don't know, but Tom, are you a NASCAR guy at all?
I am not. No racing
Okay.
for me at all.
No race, nothing. If I tell you, like, how down the list of don't you know? Like, do you know names? Would you recognize like Joey Logano?
Yeah, I recognize the names. I could recognize some
Okay.
F1 names, but it's not like I'm going to say like,
So you know more
some
than George
random.
Kurtz does about basketball?
Oh yeah, I know way
College
more than he knows about basketball
Okay.
when it comes to racing. I know that much. I know.
You're like, oh yeah, I know.
Right, McLaren
That's
and
the
the
bottom
young driver
bottom.
just won F1 this past year. I know that much.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. So poor George. George couldn't even spell NBA. I mean, you bring up NBA, he just runs to the other side of the room. Nope, don't ask me. Don't like.
Yeah.
What about LeBron James? Who? LeBron what? Who?
Yeah, he knows. I used to drill him with stuff. Like it would be fun.
He's got it
I'd
all,
say,
buddy.
what's the basketball team in New Orleans name? And he'd just be like, I don't know. I'd name like big stars. I'd be like, you heard of this guy? He's like, no. But I liked his honesty. The craziest thing to me is that George Kurtz is a middle-aged man from Long Island that's never seen one episode of Seinfeld in his life before.
What?
Wow.
And he's a Yankee
That's
fan.
unbelievable.
And he's a
Yes, he
Yankee
does.
fan. Yeah.
And he's a Yankee fan. And I told him, he goes, no, I don't know. I've never seen him before. I said,
That's crazy.
Shows about the Yankees. Like,
Yeah. How's that possible?
Never
Man, he's got
seen an
kids
episode.
too.
I swear to God,
He's
he
got
said
young-
he's never seen an episode. He said he saw Seinfeld before he was big live in a comedy club and didn't think he was funny. It's like, dude, that was like 40 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing. That I gotta grill. Next time he's on, we gotta bring
Yeah,
that
yeah,
up.
true
There's
story.
no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So, how about a little Olympic hockey here, Tom? Give me your impressions of the two games. The two main games this afternoon, or all the games for that matter. USA and Canada both winning, relatively easily.
Things are going as I expected, at least for those teams. They just have to get through the group stage that they want to get the bye. That's where I'm expecting them. A lot of people say that they're on a collision course for the gold medal game, which I think is true at this point. I expected Czechia to put up a little bit more of a fight. Yesterday, seeing Finland lose was a bit of a surprise to me. Slovakia with Hlavai in net was very, very exciting performance from him, and I expect them to roll with him again. I thought it was going to be Adam Gagin in net for Slovakia. Slavkovsky for them has been amazing. So it's been a good tournament to start. It is tough to nail down some player props just because we're getting some random players step. Like Brock Nelson having goals today wouldn't have made my top 5 or top 10. Right. Brock Nelson wouldn't have been the guy that I picked. If you give me 5 or 10 choices, he wouldn't have been the guy. So it's great to see the performances, but it's tough.
When you have so many great players on the team, I get it. Look, I cashed Tage Thompson to score a goal, plus 145.
Yeah, nice.
The crazy line today, it really was like, wow. And I'm kicking myself because I bet it, and I was like, man, why don't I bet the first goal too? And it was like plus 750. It was like a crazy number. Dude, it was plus money that Leon Draisaitl was going to score today.
I know. And I'm also kicking myself.
23 seconds into the game.
I know. I was looking at that game, and retrospectively, I think you probably have the same take, Gabe. But I was like, why didn't I just play JJ Paterka, Leon Draisaitl, Tim Stützle, and Mo Seider all for points, or like some combination of those, and just the main guys.
Simple.
The main guys come through.
I was on a Germany-Canada parlay, but I was like, Draisaitl I was talking about, and it's funny, Tom, because when I put the Draisaitl bet in, I saw Stützle's name right below it, and it was like plus 150, and I was like, wow, how do I not do this? And then lo and behold, we hit Tage Thompson goal, and nice too. It's funny. This is funny. I bet like the leading goal scorer on each team, right? So Czechia are still at 0, so I just need 1 goal from Pasternak over the next couple of days. But
tomorrow he's minus 220 for a goal. Pasta is tomorrow. That's a crazy line.
Wow,
that's what I saw.
Wow.
I was considering Marty Natchez for a goal if I could get him at plus money. He's still minus 140 or so for a goal.
That's not bad.
It's a tough spot though. Like if you told me he has 3 assists tomorrow and doesn't score, I'm not going to be shocked. But I don't want to bet a minus goal price. That's just me.
France. Yeah. Next to Italy, France are the lowest power rated team in this tournament, right? Like they lost 4-0 to Switzerland, and Czech Republic played well today. They were just Canada's that damn good, right? It was just they were just like wow. It was just overwhelming. I like the games, guys. The Czech Republic laying 3.5. They're going to want to get the goals back and goal differential that they just lost to Canada. Switzerland just beat them 4-0, so they're going to measure it by, listen, we lost. Switzerland's going to have to deal with Canada too. So we're going to need these guys. And I think they will. I'll gladly lay to 3.5. And I don't know how you feel, Tom and Scott, but I'll throw it to you, Tom. Canada minus 2.5. I get it. Switzerland are a quality hockey nation. But after seeing Canada play today, and, bro, that was just their first game. They're only going to get better as we go. I'm actually surprised Canada's not a 3.5 goal favorite. I'll lay to 2.5 with Canada tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you could do that. I also like the over 5.5. It is a little bit juiced at minus 142, but if Canada's covering that, maybe Switzerland gets in a goal, but Canada winning 5-1, I think is very realistic. And it kind of plays to what you're saying. Trying to choose Canada goal scorer is crazy. Like there's just too many options to pick from. And seeing that, McKinnon, McDavid, Marner, they're all not going to score every single game, even though you're getting some of them at plus money. I'd rather play them for points. I'd rather play like McDavid for multiple points rather than just try and get a goal out of him.
You're not disappointed, Tom.
First goal today, just for the record.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in that I was all set to go against Italy tomorrow, thinking like there's no way they're going to duplicate what they did in game one, right? They really, showed themselves well. But Slovakia is 12-1. Even laying a puck and a half, it's minus 310. Is Italy
3.5 is the goal line.
Yeah.
The question for this game, Scott, and I don't know if you saw it, Tom, but Damian Clara is the goalie. He's actually an Anaheim draft pick. 6'6", 6'7". I don't know if he's playing, Scott. The goalie that stopped like 50 shots the other night, he got hurt, like stopping a breakaway. He extended his leg out, and he pulled something, and he had to come out of the game. And listen, the dude that came into the game wasn't bad, but he's not an NHL draft pick. He's a local Italian kid. So that matters. You know what I mean? And Slovakia are good. But if the Clara guy plays, but it's impossible to get any information about it. But if Clara plays, I think they got a puncher's chance. But I'm with you, Scott. I kind of think Italy kind of peaked. Like they kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, they got outshot. They gave up 60 shots.
Yeah.
Like,
right. I think they just came out
really, and you guys know that's really how it's not necessarily the score. It's like how many shots did one team have versus the other. That really tells you a better indication.
Sweden hit the goalpost and crossbar literally like 6 times.
Like 3 times in a row. I saw that.
To me, the Italy performance was just the peaking of the emotional high
of the first game,
like the first game
in Italy,
home nation, and that was it. To see them lose every other game, the 2 games in the group stage and then the first bracket stage, to see them lose all those by multiple goals and just not be in those games would not surprise me.
Finland, Sweden's a battle tomorrow. You want to talk about rivalries?
Yeah.
They hate each other for real.
And I'm trying to think of that game.
Pakistan does, like Israel, and like I'm telling you, like they don't like each other for real. Like it's old school, like Nordic hate. You know what I mean? Like it goes.
So Saros is confirmed for that game, and it should be Markstrom in net,
bro.
Saros. And I'm not sure about Finland. There's a chance that they just go 1 and 2 in groups.
I like Sweden too. Yeah, it's too bad it's 193, but look, Sweden parlay Sweden with Canada. Suddenly it's minus 136. Could throw the Czech Republic in.
Got to put these in parlays. Talk with Tom Vecchio. Little Olympic hockey. More coming up in Game Live.
Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe talking to our good buddy Tom Vecchio, SportsGrid host. You see it here all the time here on the grid. Little Olympic hockey. So before we get to the women, interesting little notion with the women, Tom. So give me just to recap for those that missed it. Give me your best bets for tomorrow. We got Finland and Sweden starting things off at 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock. What is it?
6 a.m. Eastern.
6 a.m. Yikes. All right, so 6 a.m. for that one, and then it goes to Slovakia, Italy, then Czech and France, and then Switzerland and Canada. Where are we going tomorrow?
Frankly, I think Sweden come away with the win. If you can find a 60-minute money line on them, that's where I'd go. Their normal money line is minus 178. I've seen, at least so far in some of these bets, FanDuel, they're offering the exact same line for the money line and then the 60-minute money line, which doesn't make any sense, which is obviously not something they do in normal NHL games. So if you can find a book that offers a different 60-minute line, I would look there for Sweden. Something feels off about Finland. I don't know if it's UC Soros hasn't been the same goalie he once was 5 years ago.
I got a line here, Tom. Yeah. Minus 125 regulation.
Okay, so that I certainly like with Sweden. They just have far more depth. Markstrom is solid enough in net. There's just more talent with them top to bottom. And then when it comes to the Canada game, I like that over 5.5. They can hit that by themselves. I think for that game, again, I think Switzerland gets in one. They have enough talent on offense, led by Kevin Fiala, though Roman Yossi back there. I think they can get one through, but I just don't expect Binnington to pitch shutouts game in and game out.
I'll throw this one out here. The USA women are playing the Italian women
tomorrow.
Dude,
quarterfinals.
They could win 13-0 if they wanted. So it's basically, do they want to be nice to the locals? Bro, they beat Canada 5-0. They beat Canada 10-4 in a rivalry series. They could win this game 20-0 if they want to tomorrow. But I don't think they're going to take the pedal off the metal until they're 8 or 9. I'll lay the 6.5 goals.
Cool. 6.5 is an insane number to see for a hocky game.
Yeah, but you know what it is?
500 to 1.
They don't.
The straight money line is 500 to 1.
Right. Number one, women are meaner than men. They don't take the pedal off the metal. Right. Number two, think about it, Scott.
We all know that.
Yeah, exactly. They're mean. Dude, you should have saw the smack talk of the U.S. and the Canadian girls' faces. I was like, man, they really don't like each other. You could just feel it. But they're not playing in the NHL. This is it, bro. They got the Olympics 4 years. Think about it, Scott. You work your ass off for the Olympics. You're not going to be told, oh, take it easy on the other team. No, screw you.
Right.
I want to score 5 goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The women they don't take it easy on each other. The men will. Men will be like, yeah, whatever, dude. We're a bunch of NHL players. We're winning 7-0. Ease up on them. These women are no, this is my life. I've been looking forward to this for 4 years. I'm not taking the pedal off the metal.
Yeah, these other guys have the NHL to fall back on. These women, they don't have that. There's no real.
They have the PWHL now at least, but you know what I'm saying. They're not. Right. They're ruthless. How the hell is Italy going to deal with this? They won't be able to. It's going to be 8-9-0.
Laying a goal and a half is still 60 to 1.
Yeah,
60 to 1.
The numbers are insane, and that's why that's with even with the Slovakia game tomorrow for the men. Sometimes there's not an effective way to bet it. Some people want to lay 3.5 goals. This sort of thing, especially in the last group stage game, that's when I think the overs will come through because the teams need the goal differential to potentially secure
that's
that second.
The thing. Interesting thing to throw out there just for the concept. And it's scary if you bet unders on this, guys, because the tendency is to pull the goalie in international hockey more. But goal differential matters all the way through from top to bottom.
It does.
Right.
Every team, Scott, still trying to score late. The USA were trying to score late today, even though it's 5-1. Right? They're we're not in the same group as Canada, but we want the seeds. They're going to go over by the seeds of goal differential after. So that's why tomorrow, if you're France, you're in a lot of trouble against the Czech Republic. They already lost 5-0 to Canada. They know that Switzerland beat you 4-0. They're going to be thinking, we got to win this game 6-7-0. But you don't want to press too much. We see this in soccer where teams need to win 8-1 and stuff, and they start pressing, and it's a problem. But I really like the board tomorrow. I think Czech Republic are going to roll the Frenchmen.
Yeah, France just doesn't have enough talent top to bottom. Even though Czechia has a number of players that aren't in the NHL, some of them are former NHL players. which is always, nice to see, like Andre
Or they
Kasha.
play in elite Euro leagues too, right? Like they're playing high-level hockey.
Right. So, seeing at least seeing familiar names that I recognize who are former NHL players who are back playing in Czechia or Sweden or wherever in Europe, I'm like, okay, they may not be all NHLers as the U.S., Finland, Canada, and Sweden are, but at least they have a high level of competency that I know that I can be willing to back.
What I don't understand, Tom, is, I have this offshore site that I take a look at, and they're very, very shrewd, really shrewd.
Okay.
If they're off by a point or so, like everyone else, 9 times out of 10, they're on the right side, right? They're not offering women's hockey. Everything else, skeet shooting, downhill, the whole kit, everything but women's hockey. Now, FanDuel, God bless them, they are, had it at minus 380 for the USA women to win the gold medal. Now it's down to minus 340. It started at minus 140, but it shot up to minus 380. Like, why is it dropping? I know minus 380 is a decent number, but why would that go from minus 380 to minus 340 after what we saw, so far in this tournament?
The only thing I would say would be, they're doing that because it's just a risk thing, where they have too much, they have to just manage the risk at a certain point, which doesn't make sense. They would make the number longer, so it would be less of a interest for people. So that's interesting. And then for Canada, that would be the only really viable contender for the gold medal, and they're on the other side of the bracket, so there's no real threat for Team USA women to lose before then. I don't know. That's a good question. Why they would move it back? Did they just take a ton of money on Canada and therefore they have to move the USA number to make it balanced out?
Maybe. I don't know who's betting. We all bet on crazy things. Them laying 340 is a bigger lock than Colorado at home laying 350 against San Jose.
It was funny.
Somebody, right?
Bet365 had the USA at minus 225. The women. I don't know if you guys saw this. I posted this. I know we're coming up against the break. That story in hockey is in the Oshawa Generals told their fans to shower more because the arena stinks and they're getting complaints. Now they're taking it back. They apologize for it.
Thanks, Tom.
Cowboys. They're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's equivalent to Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, Tom Vecchio, for joining us talking Olympic hockey. So, one little thing about the hockey, which I don't quite understand, and others have pointed this out, the rink, Gabe, was supposed to be, a certain length, like it would copy NHL rinks, but for whatever reason, screwed up. We don't have enough space, blah, 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 enough time. So they made the rink a little smaller, about 10 feet smaller, they said. So, all right. So I'm watching
it's
the
not
games.
10 feet. It's 3 feet.
What is 3 feet small? All right. So I'm watching the games.
10 feet.
I'm
They wouldn't get away with that. No, not 10
I'm
feet. 3
seeing
feet.
on each side of the ice, there's like, behind the goalies, there's a 5 to 10 feet barrier before you get to the stands on each side. So I don't understand why they couldn't come up with an extra 3 feet. What am I missing? If you got 5 to 10 feet on one side of the ice and 5 to 10 feet on the other side of the ice, where you could have had a longer rink, I'm not sure what I'm missing there.
I don't understand the big gap in between. And it's such a big gap. People were posting pictures that were sitting in the front row today and they couldn't see.
Yeah.
Because the front row is like the same level.
So far away. Yeah, and it's so far right.
Yeah, and there's people walking, you have staff and stuff walking in front of you. Basically, what I got the gist of it is they didn't care. That basically it's never going to be used for hockey, basically. They wanted it for concerts, and that was the dimensions they were going with. It's bizarre. I agree with you, though. And people made that the biggest deal about it and stuff. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
The players don't care. The media flipped out. Like Paul Bissonnette, Biz was like, they shouldn't go, and this is ridiculous and stuff. And they asked Henrik Lundqvist, who's won a gold medal in the Olympics, and he goes, "Are we using a puck?" And he goes, "They said, yeah." And he goes, "Well," he goes, "who cares? About 3 feet." He goes, "I really don't care." And they asked Nate McKinnon too, and they figured, "Oh, Nate McKinnon's so serious. What does he have to say about this?" And he goes, "I really could give a F," and he dropped it up. But he goes, "I don't." He goes, "No one will notice. Like, who cares? Like, it's 1.5 feet on each side. Like,
right.
All right, you know what I mean? Like, no one. Everyone complained about the quality ice. It wasn't going to be ready, and like blah blah. Everything's fine, Scott. We see, right? Everything is fine there right now.
Right. I was just surprised. I saw all this space, like in an NHL rink. I don't know where they kind of peel off, but the obviously the fans are right up against the ice on the sides, but behind the goalie there is some space there.
I would.
This was
I would complain, Scott. Normally, I would be like, "Hey, listen, how the hell do you screw this up? Like, you got to get the dimensions right. You know what I mean?" But we should be playing on an international ice surface. It should be bigger.
This is what this is.
Should be even bigger than an NHL. And somehow the NHL players, basically, the NHL basically said, "We don't want a bigger size rink. Like, just make it NHL size." Yeah, the thing is, though, this is international hockey, Scott. International ice hockey rink is bigger than an NHL rink.
Right.
Like, bigger than 200 feet even. Like, it's wider, it's longer, it's bigger. And it's funny because I always thought before, with the size of players today, that NHL rinks should be international size rinks, Scott. There's no room for players for their skill. Like, you basically get the puck now, and boom, you get hit right away. Like, you have the puck for like a split second and stuff. But I was wrong, right? And I'll admit I was wrong. Like, over the years, I caught on and listened to coaches, and it turns out, basically, when there's bigger ice, Scott, you figure, oh, there'll be more room for speed and stuff. Nah, there's more room to play the trap. Like, that's what there is.
Right.
There's more room to box people out. Think about it. A bigger rink, you're in the corner. You're so far away, you're not a threat anymore. Now there is a little bit of difference when, with a 3 feet shorter. Like, think about it, Scott. You're in the corner. You can flick the puck fast in front of the net, and it could be in a blink of an eye, and someone tips it in. You're freaking 14 feet away in the corner, bro. You're not a threat. You're behind the net. It's like there's a big space behind the net. It's like, yeah, whatever, dude. You're 6 feet away from me. Like, what are you going to do? Right? When you're in tight, like, that's when you get those quick, fast goals. Right? So it's interesting that the larger rink makes for more boring hockey, not more exciting hockey. I was wrong about it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Didn't really think about that, but yeah, I guess it does make sense.
Yeah.
It used to be where all the rinks were different in the NHL. Now they're all the Boston Garden always used to be smaller and everything else.
Yeah, you were right. I think you were talking at 10 feet. You're right. Like, dude, people were bitching about 3 feet. I was like, dude, the Boston Garden was like 13 feet short. It was like a little mini rink. It was like a backyard rink. I'll look at the dimensions of the Boston Garden. It was off. I think it was 8 feet off. I think it was like 190. It was smaller.
Close to the NHL. Yeah. All right, hour number 2 coming up next. Late night kickoff. Put up on the grid.
Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers, they control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. We got Brady Cannon coming up in about a half hour. We'll do some gambling talk with him, including the golf second round of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. In the meantime, let's start off hour number 2 with our late night pickoff. I'll steal your thunder. I'm sure you got this game as well, Gabe. Yeah. Over 158.5, our favorite little
it's
team.
It's 160.5 now. Public jumped in on it, just for the record. Public jumped in on it.
I'm still, you know what? I'm still going to do it. Give me the over Denver, the number 1 over team in college basketball, and South Dakota State.
Yeah, I agree with Scott. I'm not going to disagree just quickly. And there's no whatever. We go over all the time. So one good thing, though, we could be proud of, and I brought to the table when it was like 7 and 8 type thing.
Yeah,
it was almost like, hey, it's 8-1, guys, 8-1, whatever, with a push or whatever. Like, so sometimes during the baseball season, Scott, remember we'd be like, oh damn, it's 17 in a row, but we only caught on at 14 or something. You know what I mean? Like this one's been along for the ride all year, pretty much. So it's 19-4. We don't need to break it down. It's 19-4. And the funny thing is, they suck. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't win. Like they're bad, and it's always worrisome. Like, man, they play bad teams. Like, can the other team score enough? That's what I was worried tonight. I'm like, yeah, they're bad, but like, are we gonna get enough points from South Dakota State here? And it's like, yeah, you just gotta roll with it. Pretty much every Denver game ends up 92-89 type of thing. So, I'm gonna roll with it. And I got more familiar picks, but what do you got next? Because I got more familiar picks that I usually go with too here.
All right. And the crazy thing, this and real quickly with Denver, their numbers aren't like 167, 160. They're always starting like 155, 158. You know, they're not like
Yeah,
crazy
but it
like
used to be
Alabama numbers.
137 and stuff, right? It's
Yeah,
really gone up a lot, like
it's
from the
amazing.
start of the year.
All right, I'm going to go. It's one of my favorite under teams, Northern Iowa, and they've done a pretty good job for us this year. One of our automatic unders. They're 5-2 under their last 7. I got it earlier today at 137.5. It may have peaked up earlier or went a little bit lower, rather, at 136.5. I still like it. They're playing Belmont, one of the best teams in the Missouri Valley. So I think Northern Iowa, which is a halfway decent team, will do its due diligence to make sure they don't get into a running affair with Belmont. So give me under 137.5 Northern Iowa at Belmont.
I brought this up last night. I wish I was able to get out to more different college basketball games, not just for the fun of it, but to scout the teams and see them live, because you can really learn a lot about seeing a team live, especially in a small gym, right? If you're in an NBA arena, last row, you can't see their faces and you don't hear the bench but in a smaller gym. So I was live last week. I saw the San Francisco Dons play, and I don't understand the number here. Like, why would the Dons be 9-point favorites against the Oregon State Beavers? Like, to me, these teams are evenly matched. Oregon State aren't great, but they're not going to be phased from a talent level and a recruiting level. Like, Oregon State will have better players than San Francisco does. So the number is just too high for my liking here. Listen, Oregon State are a classic 500 team. They're 13-13 on the season. They're 5-5 in their last 5 straight up, 5-5 ATS and 5-5 on the total. But they're playing good basketball, actually. They've won 3 of their last 4 games outright. San Francisco can't stop anybody, right? And they're kind of streaky. They're pretty good offensively, but they're hit or miss. And it's funny, maybe I was the curse, because they were coming off a win where they won 87-82. I saw them live last week against Loyola Marymount, and they lost 84-75. Then they went to St. Mary's, and they got lit up 79-54. Now they're going back to the Bay here, and asking to win by 10 points is a lot, in my opinion. Give me the Oregon State Beavers plus the points.
All right. One thing about Oregon State, same game for me. They are an automatic over team, one of our automatic over clubs, and they've done a good job for us, especially on the road, Gabe, where they are 14-3 their last 17 road games over. Takes 2 to tango. How about San Fran? You said it, can't stop anything, right? They're 7-2 over their last 9. Got a modest number, 140.5. Give me over 140.5 in that game, Oregon State at San Fran.
Yeah, San Francisco don't play defense. So if Oregon State hits shots, this game should sail over the number. And also, too, with San Francisco, yeah, their last game went over the number, but it was against one of the best defensive teams in the country, against St. Mary's. Oregon State aren't St. Mary's. Right. So the shots should be falling for the Dons more tonight. Love the over this game as well. Beavers and the over for me here.
All right. Last one for me. I'll use the Lakers. Last game on the board. I'm thinking they're going to come out strong. I don't ask why, but I think they got so much criticism for resting all their players last game. They got blown out by 20-plus points by OKC. If they have just any pride whatsoever, you're going to get a good effort out of the Lakers tonight. Reeves is back. LeBron's back. Marcus Smart. They all had miracle cures somehow or another. They weren't able to play 2 days ago, but they drank from the fountain of youth, and they all made miraculous recoveries, and they're all able to play today. How about that? The magic of medicine. So give me the Lakers laying 6.5 against Dallas. You don't have the Luka thing, but he's not playing, obviously. He is actually legitimately hurt. But I think the Lakers come up big tonight.
The thing with the Lakers is, which was a bad look for them, as I stated, I don't have a problem with the LeBron James stuff. He's 41 years old, right? So him not playing on a back-to-back like that, fine, whatever. But they basically sat the entire team, and now they're playing everybody like tonight. It would have made more sense to do it like opposite-wise, right? To have a shot.
Yeah,
but I was going to go with this, not like, yeah, like it'd be like, all right, we got a shot here against the Spurs. Well, we could beat the Mavericks. The Mavericks don't have Cooper Flag. They don't have anybody. You know what I mean? We'll rest our guys versus them. But no, I think they're just admitting, Scott, you know what? Why play everybody? We can't beat the Spurs anyways. Like, I think that's their, you know what I mean? They have to pick their win. Yeah. Right this week. It's like, all right, we'll win one of the two. We're not going to beat the Spurs on a back-to-back, even if we start everybody. So let's just rest them. and we'll get the W on the way out, and we'll play everybody before the All-Star break. It sucks that this is what the NBA is, Scott, right now, right? The teams think like this, but here we are, because as you stated, so what? Everybody was hurt the other night, and now everybody's fine suddenly?
Yeah.
You know, and you're playing against a crap-ass Dallas team that doesn't have anybody either now, and then now you're going to man up and bully them tonight? Like, that's the NBA. I pat my stats tonight against these kids. So,
yeah.
But I just find it kind of comical. My pick will be games on TV, too. So the NASCAR race, too. I'm watching a NASCAR now, but give me the over, Scott, in North Texas and Memphis. North Texas, Memphis, one of the ESPN games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like, back to the Laker game. It's kind of like the baseball team that goes, all right, do we pit our ace against their ace and then go our second best pitcher against their second best pitcher? Or do we take a chance that we can win the game not using our ace and then win the next game using our ace? We can go 2-0 in this thing. The Lakers and most other teams do the conservative approach and just say, no, we'll take the automatic win. We'll sit everybody and then we'll throw our ace against the worst team, even though they probably could win against Dallas with no flag, especially.
And then last night you had the Spurs going on a back-to-back. And they were losing at the half, Scott, right? When we got off the air, it was like 67-63. And then they were down by 16. Very similar to Michigan, who came back and ended up winning by 11 or whatever.
They did. They covered the original spread.
I know.
Michigan, by the way.
14 with like 2 minutes left at one point. It's like, and they flipped the script like that. They got, dude, one thing, Northwestern, like Michigan didn't have a good first half, Scott, but watching the second half. The only way Northwestern could stop Michigan was fouling them. Like, Michigan are so big, and Michigan were smart. I hate seeing teams, Scott, that don't do it and just take advantage of the circumstance, but Michigan did. Like, the second half, they stopped shooting shots. They basically, every possession, dump it inside. And they were within the bonus, man, in like 4 or 5 minutes. Like, Northwestern were overwhelmed. Michigan shot free throws for the rest of the night and just overwhelmed them in the paint. Like, it was good coaching last night. But the same thing with the Spurs, guys. They were down 16 last night to Golden State. They didn't have anybody. And these kids on Golden State couldn't miss. And then the Spurs just flipped the script and killed them for the rest of it. One day.
In-Game Live continues here on the Grid.
Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like, it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those, like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers, they control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid, hour number 2. Kyle Busch wins the poll, by the way, for the Daytona 500. 0 for 20. Will this be the year that he breaks that little streak? How's our dual qualifying go? Is that over yet, Gabe? I'm sitting on a Chase Elliott at 6.5 to 1. No, it's a long ways to go.
Oh God, no. We're
Okay.
48 laps to go. We're at 60 laps. 60 laps. So we're into lap 12, lap 13 right now.
All right.
And my boy Cindric is in 8th place. You know what, though, to put in context, he started in 21st. So he could, like I said, like he's picking what he wants to do. Like he could pass people if he wanted to. So he goes from 21 to 8. Don't forget, Scott, they draft, right? You get behind someone and it carries you.
Right.
And you've got, like, I believe I think there's 11 Toyotas on the track right now. And they stick together, Scott. They're like gang members.
Yeah.
They really do. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you know what? We're not on the same team, but we're both like Toyota guys here. So, yeah, we're going to box the Ford guy out, Team Ford. Because don't forget, there's a constructor championship, too, for total points. Right. So there's a sort of a wink, wink in NASCAR. You help your sponsor, you know, your other guy's sponsors. It's the same car. You're not the same team, but it's the same car. Same, like, you know what I mean? So, like, that's why it was funny, the dual race, they were talking about the first one about how there wasn't a lot of buddies and affiliations. Or you'll get guys that hate each other, which is cool in NASCAR. And they really do it. If you remember, Scott, last year in the playoffs, someone said, I'm going to get you, like, when you least expect it. And Buddy ruined guys' playoff opportunity. That's why you and I talked about it. I don't think it's cool, like, you have other guys on the track that are racing when you got like 8 guys racing for a championship and you got 40 other guys. It's like, don't think that the guy that got screwed over 6 weeks ago says, I'm going to get him back right now and I'm going to ruin his playoff. And it happens all the time. They'll just run right at him, Scott, and take him right out of the race. Hey, you like that?
Yeah. I'm surprised that what doesn't happen more often, and maybe it does, right? That, you know, you have these teams that, you know, pick a Ford car, right? It could be anybody. And, you know, there's a guy in Ford car's in second place. Then there's a Ford car that's in 40th place. And he realizes that second place Ford car, he's not going to catch the leader because the leader is like, you know, 20 feet ahead of him. He doesn't like spin out. He can't crash because these cars are worth too much, but he can spin out, you know, and not really damage the car and then force a restart. And meanwhile, so that brings down the number 2 Ford car instead of being 20 seconds behind the leader. He's now all of a sudden, you know, just a couple of seconds or not even a couple of fractions of a second. You know, like stuff like that. If I really gambled NASCAR, that would just bug me to no end. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
It is fun to have it back, though. I got to be honest. It's nice that we're watching a while. So it's on right now. It's live. At least it's real. We got action on it. And like you say, we sort of follow it from the first race here. Yeah. It seems to me like the first dual race, I don't know. I'm not going to say these guys were better, but if you'll notice, this one has a lot of the bigger names in it. The first one, Scott, was a lot of crashing and stuff like that. Like, I mean, this has just been smooth. Like, yeah, like these guys are just smoothly. No one's like doing anything crazy. Everyone's just going around and around here.
They don't want to ruin their car. You crash one of these cars and won't be able to race the car, right? That's the biggest issue. Car before?
And also, Scott, I think what they're doing is basically just like Daytona. It's plate racing. It's chaos. So, like, don't get into the chaos. And in the last 20 laps, whatever, we'll deal with the chaos, right? And we'll try to win. Don't screw it up. Don't lose the race now. Don't lose, you know what I mean, the sprint. Because don't forget, too, like guys in the garage want the money, Scott. Some of these drivers have money and stuff, but the bonus is, and you know, guys like your pit team and stuff. You know what I mean? This guy, you know, guy in a pit team is going to get an extra $50K or something if you win the duel tonight. Like, you want to hook your team up. You don't want to screw them, you know?
You know, last night we had a great, really, we both said it with Michigan. They weren't going to lose to Northwestern, right? I mean, that was like
but
a
it
really
got scary, bro. They were down 9 at the half, and then they were down by 16 at one point.
Yeah, the second half, it did. A similar opportunity tonight, but I don't have as much confidence in this as I did last night. OKC is down 12 against Milwaukee at home. Now, OKC is not the same. Yeah, I know, right? But is OKC going to lose to the Bucks without Giannis? They're getting 5.5 now. Wow, plus 250 on the money line
last night too. They played against Orlando last night.
Right.
And Oklahoma
And
City's
won.
last game, that goes to show, Scott, the mentality. We talk about last game of the NBA before the All-Star game. Who knows where these guys' heads are. But think about it. Oklahoma City went in without SGA and everybody the other night. They went to L.A. The Lakers had their guys beside Luka. Everybody played beside Luka. Oklahoma City beat them down, bro. Like, they didn't even need SGA. It was like, wow. Like, everyone else was like, oh, wow, Lou Dort's hitting threes tonight. They're like, they won easily because they were fired up against the Lakers. Now they're against the Milwaukee Bucks. And they're like, it goes to show, like you said, man, they'll decide when to play. And yeah, you know what? Oh, we're in LA tonight against the Lakers. Yeah, I'm going to show up tonight. You know, and we're going to look good tonight in LA. Oh, we're playing the Milwaukee Bucks. They're terrible. We're at home. Yeah, we're down by 14. So down by 14 with a minute left in the third quarter right now.
This team was 30-5 at one point. They're 12-8 since then.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still pretty good.
Tonight, but Scott, they come in today. The San Antonio Spurs are only 3.5 back of them for the top seed now. The Spurs are coming on, baby. They're the real deal, man. I've been telling people.
Yeah.
You got to bet the future. They can, and we've seen they can beat Oklahoma City. We've seen it with our eyes.
Oh, yeah. 4-0. Right? One time OKC didn't try, which I still don't understand, but okay. But 4-0 this year, yeah.
Yeah.
Between them and Cleveland both, you know, the number on Cleveland dropped too much for me. At 13-1. That was 30-1 a week and a half ago.
I think they could beat Oklahoma City in a series. I really do. Like, I think the Spurs would beat them.
Spurs,
just because it's a matchup type deal. But
Wembanyama,
are the Spurs ready to beat the Nuggets yet? I don't think so.
That would be. I tell you what.
You know what I mean?
I could see teams catching up to OKC game
versus Wembanyama in the conference finals. Oh, that would be sick.
That would be sick.
That would be.
I could see teams catching up to OKC, as good as SGA is, right? But if Wembanyama continues on this run, who's beating Wembanyama? Yeah. We'll talk more about it on the other side.
Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, game day on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out the NBA scene. We only got 3 games tonight, 2 underway. Then the Lakers and Dallas Mavericks after our show is over at 10:10. Bucks now by 16 over OKC after 3. I'll take a flyer. OKC grab an 8.5. And I'll tell you, Gabe, the other thing is, forget about San Antonio. The Detroit Pistons very, very, very quietly have the best record in the Eastern Conference. And, losses in the loss column, they're tied with OKC. OKC's 42-13 and Detroit is 40-13. So not only could the Spurs, leapfrog them.
People don't see the Pistons much.
Yeah,
you see the Spurs because they're on TV, but the Pistons aren't on national television much. I've seen them play against the Raptors every time this year, including last night, unfortunately. And they didn't have Duran last night either. Isaiah Stewart, whatever. So he's not there. Who cares? But they didn't have Duran, who's a big impact player for them, and they punched the Raptors in the mouth, man. Scott, sometimes, you'll sort of look at a team's record and you're like, oh, they're having a good year, but you don't really realize, they're good. And, you watch the Pistons, bro, they play defense. They're in your face. You see, they're tough. They'll fight you and stuff. But, the ball movement was what got me last night. They really, really move the ball around quickly, bro. Some teams pass them. The Raptors are good at it. The Pistons are a better Raptors. That's the best way of putting it. The Raptors are good at swinging the ball around and getting the open look and taking the right shot. But the Pistons, Scott, they take the right shot, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
they'll pass it. It's guy's got an open look and they'll pass it again. You think, oh, you should have shot. It's nah, they got 2 more passes coming and then they're going to dunk it, right? And the Raptors are very good defensively, and they got schooled a couple of times last night. They went one way, and Cade Cunningham threw it that went another way. The Pistons are good, bro. They're good. But the drill, Scott, in the NBA. You got to sort of get there and lose before you do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who do you trust more going into the playoffs, the Pistons or the Cavaliers?
Yeah, Cleveland. They've been through the wars.
Right? I trust Cleveland just because, they got Mitchell, they got Harden, they got Mobley, and they've been failures before. You got to think they can break through one of these years.
Yeah. And you really think about it. You look at this Pistons roster. Cade Cunningham is turning into a true superstar player, right? But Duran, 17 points. Tobias Harris, 13. Duncan Robinson, remember the Miami Heat, 12 points.
Because they play as a team, Scott. They play as a team. Yeah, the other Thompson brother. Yeah, they play as a team.
Don't get respect. It sounds stupid.
They don't.
And it's not me. It's from public
look
standpoint.
At the Seattle Seahawks didn't get respect all year in the same way.
Yeah.
No, they don't have star players. Star players doesn't mean you win championships.
Yeah. This team took the Knicks to the limit last year. Remember that? That was a 7-game series. They were that close to beating New York. So I was surprised at the beginning of the year, when people were finding
Mitchell is some big choker either. He's not. Dude, the Utah Jazz suck, Scott. What do you want from him? The dude scored 30 points a game in the playoffs. Look at this playoff record. The guy scored 50 in one of the games. All right, he couldn't win. God, Jazz. Oh, yeah, you're gonna blame him? You didn't win a championship with the Jazz? And with the Cavaliers, how long has he really been there? Yeah, you know what? He disappeared. He got hurt once. I think he might have had a bad game 7 or 2 along the way. Maybe
they got hurt. What I mean? They had 2 or 3 guys get hurt last year in the postseason. That was not a fair representation. But they do have a solid lineup.
The top 3 teams, right? The Pistons, the Cavs, the Knicks. I would say in these. Then it's kind of everybody else, right?
Can Embiid carry the Sixers if Embiid got healthy?
I don't buy it.
They've been playing good ball.
I know. I don't buy into them though.
No.
I like the Celtics.
They do have Maxey. See, unlike with Detroit, they have Maxey and Embiid. They do have 2 real superstars. But
big Maxey's disappeared in the playoffs. Embiid always gets hurt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Can he stay the course? They're okay, but I'm just sort of saying, to me, they're the tier 2. I don't fully trust the Knicks, man. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the Knick curse. They're like the Leafs or something. Because, I almost should believe in them more, right, than I do. They have all the pieces in the East. They have all the pieces. There's no reason why they can't win the East. But me personally, if I had to take a team right now, I would take the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East.
That's what I would do. Although
James
the
Harden.
Celtics
So
get
we're going to
back,
be on the James Harden bandwagon in the playoffs. We're going to be, let's go Harden.
yeah,
Let's go.
and then we rip up our tickets at the end of the day. We're like, what are
you and I
we,
are gonna
idiots?
sit here in like 3 months, going,
Yeah, it's like,
James
what
Harden,
did
Cavs
we do
gonna
with
win.
that?
Like, oh, we're idiots. Like, yeah.
Randy Cannon coming up next.
Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Put the baskets aside here for a sec. Talk a little golf. We got one round in of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Ams. Let us bring in our golf extraordinaire, seeing here all the time here on the grid, Brady Cannon. So, Brady, what do we know about Ryo Hisatoon? Is that how you pronounce it? He has a one-shot lead. Am I close?
You are close.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Hisatoon there, or whatever.
Right,
Donald
that
Duck.
T in the middle there is kind of semi-silent. Hisasuni. But boy, this is pretty wild. Now, he's been playing pretty well the last few weeks. He's not obviously a household name or, he's obviously one of the top 80 players on the PGA Tour right now because this is a signature event. He's not had a PGA Tour win yet in his career, but he's been playing well as of late. This is courtesy of my friend Justin Ray on Twitter, who just does a fantastic job nailing all the stats and everything like that. The strokes gain data, the shot link data, there's been well over 300,000 rounds of golf recorded in the shot link era. And Hisasuni is the first guy to ever lose strokes to the field off the tee and on approach and shoot 62 or lower. It was just like an impossible round of golf. And the way
Sounds
he
like
did
a
it was
basketball team, Brady, that goes 12 for 12 and threes in the first quarter. He can't keep this up.
Right, exactly. No, he is number 1 in the field right now for scrambling and number 2 in the field right now for putting. That's how he's getting it done.
Wow.
He's all over the place off the tee, all over the place with the irons, and he can't miss the putt. And he's probably chipping in as well. So just a really wild round of golf. But no, to your point, Gabe, I wouldn't be betting on him going forward because You can't believe that this is going to hold up.
Who do you like that is still in the mix right now? In that, let's say everyone's still in the mix. I mean, Sam Burns is 9 under, Bradley's 9 under, Finau is 8 under, Goddard is 8 under, Nick Taylor 7 under, etc. But is there someone, let's say, you know what I mean, a little bit further back here that you still like? Hideki Matsuyama is 5 shots back, like sort of in that ballpark figure. Who you looking at?
You know, I think Keegan Bradley is someone to take a look at. If you look at like Rory McIlroy was really good from tee to green today and was just absolutely awful putting. There were some guys like Hisasuni that were just absolutely red hot with the putter. Other guys that just couldn't make a putt to save their life. Rory was one of those. I'm looking at the guys that were kind of steady from start to finish. Now, the other thing to think about, there's a lot of golf left here. There's no cut in this event. So we're not going to get rid of half the field at the halfway point. You know, all 80 of these guys are going to be around for 4 days. Bradley's doing everything very well. Ricky Fowler is playing really well. Matt Fitzpatrick, Chris Goddard. I mean, gosh, is this guy red hot right now or what? I mean, he wins the Sony, comes back to beat Matsuyama last week. I, of course, was on Matsuyama outright. Goddard comes back and gets me there. Akshay Bhatia and Maverick McNeely. Those are the names that I picked out where they're doing everything pretty well. McNeely's really interesting too because he's one of the best putters on planet Earth, and he lost strokes to the field with the putter today, yet still played a pretty good round. So, and he's been playing great golf as of late. He literally grew up on this golf course. So if he comes around and starts putting his normal putting stroke together, he could be right there once again.
All right. How about this strategy? You don't see these numbers next to his name very often, right? You got Scotty Scheffler at 30-1 right now. Now he's 10 shots back, but as we all agree, the leader we all think is going to come back to the pack, so I'm going to throw him out the window. So he's really kind of 9 shots back. He's got 60 guys to overcome, Brady, but he also has 3 rounds, and maybe he doesn't win, but if he puts himself into contention, then maybe you get a little buyout, cash out offer from FanDuel and the like, which is a way to attack this thing. It's not really, I don't view that as, middling it or, I view that as, okay, if this guy can come within 2, 3, 4 shots Sunday, they're going to offer me a halfway decent price on my 30-1 ticket. What do you think about that?
I think you're right there. You're going down the right road. And it's kind of similar to what he did last week in Phoenix. He shot 2 over par in the first round. Right. It's just like he wants to spot the field 10 shots and see if you can catch me. He ended up 1 shot out of a playoff last week in Phoenix and finished 3rd, after the type of start that he had. So I was thinking about betting him to finish top 5 every week. And then he got off to that start last week. And I said, oh, okay, I dodged a bullet there. What does he do? He finishes top 5 again. And you would think he's probably going to do it again. I mean, he has, I want to say it's like 18 top 10 finishes in the last season or something like that. That's not even close to what Tiger had. It's way better. Scotty is way better as far as just finding a way into the top 10 week after week after week. And, I don't think it's a bad way to go, Scott, because you got to figure he's going to get close to that neighborhood once again. You're probably not going to get a better price than 30-1 right now. And yeah, you might have a cash out opportunity.
I'd like to know, Brady, I don't know, maybe you have this handy, but next time you come on, we'll give you a little assignment. I'd like to know how many first-round leaders, what do you have, about 40 tournaments in the year? How many first-round leaders actually go on to win?
Yeah, it's a great question. Not many. No, I mean,
not many, right?
Guys going gate to wire, right?
5%,
well,
yeah,
2%. That
maybe,
little.
I would say it's out. Let's say if there's 40 tournaments, I would say it's 5 guys at the most.
Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
sort of like an onside kick sort of percentage, huh? Where you're surprised, like when it's there's 7.
You don't even get that many guys that are in the 54-hole lead that go on to win.
No. I mean, I was gonna say maybe in live, right? Maybe in live and a little bit different, but like even that, it's almost, guys, like golf. All sports are parallel, but it's almost like if you bet on a horse and your horse is leading after the first turn, rip the ticket up. Like every time it's going.
No, I really hate for my guy to be in the lead after one day because I just know you're also likely to come back down to earth. I mean, he's Hisasuni, like we're saying. Is he going to shoot 62 again? Probably not. Yeah, I like my guys to be 2 or 3 shots off the lead, and one of my guys is Nick Taylor, and he's right there, 3 shots off the lead. But like I say, I want to say the PGA Tour average for guys with a 54-hole lead is probably less than 40% conversion into a win. Probably right around 40% of a conversion into a win. So. Yeah, but again, this event's a little bit unique.
That's a good point, Brady. Yes, even on Sunday, there's no guarantee.
There's a lot of golf.
It's rare that a guy that wakes up on Sunday morning wins. Even it's true.
And Sunday we're supposed to get weather here too. The weather was kind of nasty coming in, and then today everything settled down, and these guys went nuts making birdies. It's supposed to be very gettable for the next couple days, and then Sunday that wind is supposed to kick up again and possible rain. So. Like you say, if you got the 54-hole leader, Gabe, tear that ticket up because Sunday is going to get sideways.
Looks like the Kentucky Derby, right? Oh, I'm leading after the first shift. It's like, good for you. Worry about the last turn, kid. Yeah, the first turn, and not so much.
That is the one thing I like about Liv, Brady. Well, your thoughts on they only play 3 rounds. I mean, knowing those stats, I'm surprised the golfers haven't put forth an effort. They have so little free time. And they go from one tournament, home a day, and on a train, bus, whatever, airplane, right to the next tournament, that they don't say, well, we don't need 4 rounds. We're wasting our time on Thursday.
Nah, why don't we play 7 baseball games?
I think they went to 4 rounds now because it's all a part of their effort to try and get themselves world ranking points. The world ranking system was not acknowledging them for only playing 54 holes. They're like, you got to play real golf or we're not even going to, take a look at you guys. So I think I haven't paid attention. They're playing in Australia right now, but I think they are doing 4 rounds this year.
Yeah, they are doing 4. Yeah.
Without
I like that.
Patrick Reed, of course.
Yeah, and probably more to follow. Randy, great job, man. Appreciate it. Good luck with your bets.
Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers, they control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Thanks to Brady Cannon for joining us, giving us a couple of insights in the golfing world. Do like that strategy with Scotty Scheffler. What's the latest in our dual heat number 2 here? We're coming down to the wire here, Gabe.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. It's been a real, I don't want to say it's been an accident-free race, but I haven't noticed anything, like, which is insane
with
for
a
like
black
a duel
cloud now.
Daytona.
That's a jinx.
I should have shut up. I should have shut up. But there's 12 and pretty quickly. There's 12 laps to go, and it's real now. Remember I said earlier, everyone's just sort of waiting? It's getting real, and everybody's fueling up. Like Cindric did like 2 minutes ago, and he fell to 20th, and with his fresh tires or whatever, he just stormed to 3rd right now. It's the other thing, too. The tires get eaten up. So it's go time, Scott. There's 11 laps left, so we're going to know in the next, like, 3-4 minutes here type thing. You know, whatever, 5 minutes.
That is amazing. That's like a monkey see, monkey do. Yeah, when you get like a couple of guys that'll gas up, then that's when all the others are. Let's go in now.
Like half of them just pulled in together. You're right. They all went like some of them went ahead, and then some of them went together. All right, here we go. Because you know what? All right, there were a couple of dudes that had no business being in the front, and they just got out of the way, basically.
Right.
Like the big boy, like get the F out of the way now. So Reddick's in first place. My boy Cindric's in second. They're trading pace.
Where's Elliott?
They're battling. They're trying to get, they're racing for real. Here we go. Come on, Cindric. Right.
Is Elliott anywhere to be found at all?
Elliott's in 5th. He's right there. Yeah, he's literally like right there. Dude, they're all, the first 5 cars are all jammed up. Like, hey, he's right there. It's Reddick, Cindric, Hocevar, Jones, and Elliott right now. Kyle Larson fueled up and was 20th, and he's coming on right now. Like, he's that good. He's just going to pass everybody. Larson's steaming board right now. So Larson's in 8th place right now, guys, with 10 laps to go. Mark my words. Around like lap 3 or lap 4, we're going to be like, damn, man, Larson just went from 10th to like 3rd, like 2nd. Like, I wouldn't have read Larson. Here we go. 5 Larson, Scott. See, boom, I don't ask Scott. Boom, here comes Larson. Here comes Larson. like we talk about the slip. They all just said, all right, now we're racing. Let's go. And all the big boys are like, and the other guys know, I got to get out of this guy's way. I'm not as fast as him. Like, I got to move. Like, you know what I mean?
Give me the percentage of the drivers that win speed versus driving ability. What separates these guys? Is it just my car's faster? How much is the car faster versus I could drive better?
Because I think it's like a baseball, a good team. If you have a bad coach, you know what I mean? A bad driver won't win with a good car. A good driver can win with a bad car.
Bad car.
Right. Way of putting it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a quarterback. Yep. Can you win with anybody, your wide receiver, or not? Like, no, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys, Scott. I'm a big F1 guy, and they're always firing. They have 2 drivers. They have Max Verstappen, who's like the best in the world, and they're always firing the second guy because they finish in 8th place. They get mad, and they tell him, you have the same effing car as Max Verstappen has, and he finishes first. Like, why can't you finish 3rd at least? Like, you know what I mean? And that's like their expectation. One guy does really well, and the other guy sort of gets them points. So, yeah, I would say it's the driver. You got to have a car, but I think the driver, like I said, you could put a bad driver, an average driver in a great car, and he won't win. But you could put a great driver in an average car, and he can find a way to get it over the finish line. It's one thing I hate, man. Went to a commercial break. Like F1 doesn't.
10 laps left?
Yeah, F1, like, dude, there's 10 laps left of a dual race. Like, like F1 will have in screen. It'll pop up Carlsberg, whatever. But you don't miss the race. Like, how do you get all excited? I'm like, well, I'm getting all into it 10 laps, and they go to a Cadillac commercial. Like, come on, man.
That's weak.
And there's still a commercial. Like, I'm wondering, what's going to happen when we get back? How many laps are going to be left?
What's going to happen with the Daytona 500? I hope they don't do that. Right? Maybe they got to do that sometimes, but you would think they would have that little banner like we have here at SportsGrid, where all the scores you're seeing.
I do not understand, Scott, why American television executives hate that so much.
I know.
Dude, they would see it more. You don't change the channel suddenly. It's not right.
You don't tune out.
If they don't
you don't go to the bathroom. You don't go get a snack.
Dude,
you don't do any of that stuff.
EPL, like all the biggest soccer leagues in the world. If it works for them and there's 1 billion people watching the World Cup, more than the Super Bowl, why won't it work here? I'm like, dude, I love the in game. I'm like, you know, whatever. You put your stupid ad on and have the game in half the screen. I won't change the channel. I won't get mad.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, whatever. Get your little box off in a minute here, and like I'll be fine. But you switch away. All right, so now we missed 4 laps. They're at 6 now. They're at 6 now.
You dumb down the commercials is
Elliot's
what you do. You don't make them so extravagant. Just put your logo up there. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice 6.5 to 1 ticket. This would be a little bonus.
With 6 to go. The only thing is, you're leading a little too early here almost. Like, it's almost still too early. Like, it's like the last.
He's down to plus 340 on FanDuel. You can still bet this stuff on FanDuel, by the way, people.
Wow.
He's plus 340. Really, huh? Now he's at plus 300. Yeah. Pretty good
that
job.
Goes to show, though, how crazy it is that he's in first place and there's 5 laps left and they'll still give you plus 300.
Yeah. Right. You would think this would be like minus.
Yeah,
minus
he'd be like,
right
no, because he's in first and he's got a little distance here. Larson's in third right now. Cindric's fading to 10th. They're going to dial it up. Right. Like I said, the last couple of laps, it'll get a little bit crazier here. Some of the other guys will start to move out of the way a bit, but you're looking good here for Elliott. I put a play in on Larson as well. There was a boost at plus 900, so I'm hoping that either you'll hit your Elliott or I get my Larson here, at least if I don't hit Cindric. And Larson's in third right now, and he hasn't made his move. They're back into playing coy again. They're literally going in single file. Like everybody just riding the wave, riding the draft, they call it. They're just drafting along here, and they're going to wait here. I guess lap 2, they'll be like, when I become a jerk.
That or they give it up? Not like necessarily give it up, just like, all right, we accomplished what we wanted to. Let's not wreck our car in the final 3 laps. It is what it is.
I think they want the money and the bonus points and all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah. Plus 210 now. Plus 170 on Chase Elliott. Oh, we may have hit this.
You know what?
He's got
a car length lead type thing. Like it's not like they're right on his ass. He's in control. Like he's in front.
Not bad. Wish I had more on it. Fun.
Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Down to our final lap or two at the dual heat, holding on to a 6.5 to 1 ticket. Do we cash?
And they wave the checkered flag, and Chase Elliott wins the duel.
Nice.
Great job. Yeah, nice to start off. I thought I was hit this with Cendric. I was like, oh, it's going to be nice to start off. But all right, I'm happy for the show. Yeah, Elliott hangs on. Elliott hangs on. They basically
6.5 to 1.
I put the volume up during the break, and I heard them basically say that everyone's sort of happy with where they are, kind of. Like Larson was trying to win. Larson was trying to get from third, but Buddy was happy with second. So he was pushing Elliott along. I said it before the race. They start helping each other, and they get these weird little partnerships going on the track. Larson was by himself, like trying to get past two guys. Like the guy in second place is like, this is great. I'm happy where I am. I wasn't supposed to be there. So I'm not doing anything dumb. And I'm just going to keep pushing Elliott in front because I'm not going to pass him. So Elliott wins the duel. And it's curious you wonder, like I said, he's doing the victory lap. He's spinning around. They're happy here. So, yeah, it's a good cost. Plus 650. Elliott wins.
Yeah, I'll do a victory lap after the show. How about that?
It should
a couple things.
Should know guys that win the duel don't win the race after.
Don't win.
It's one of these weird deals. I'll get you.
Talk about having a leader in golf, right? How many times the first round leader win?
We just talked about it. That's why exactly. I just want to throw all that.
Yeah. How about one guy not going to the NFL Combine? Start of the show, I brought this up. One Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss quarterback Gabe today gets the right from a state, judge. Shocking. A Mississippi state judge gives Trinidad Chambliss the right to go back. Now, the NCAA can appeal, but he gets a 6th year of eligibility. They say, okay, go back to college. We talked about it. I don't know why, listen, he may love college, and I love college and everything, but it can't get any better than what he's got right now as far as
I've never seen someone all the hype to not go to the NFL.
Yeah. I mean,
like Diego Pavia, I understand. Like, you're not, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, he's going to be undrafted, or he's going to be a walk-on or a 7th round draft pick type thing. I understand him saying, I'm a star in college. A weak quarterback class, Scott. Like, if you're Trinidad Chambliss, you legitimately have a chance to be the 3rd, 4th quarterback taken in the draft.
Absolutely.
Like, for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, you really do. You have, like you got Mendoza, you got Ty Simpson, you got Garrett Nussmeier. After that, bro, could be like you could be a 2nd round draft pick. No, he wants to go back to Ole Miss this badly.
And like is Ole Miss really going to be as good as they were last year?
Lane Kiffin's not going to be there all year, bro. I was one game, and you guys had a little kick in the playoffs, but it won't be the same. And everyone knows you're good now. You're not this kid from Ferris State. Yeah, I'm with you, Scott. His stock isn't going to get higher. And not to mention now, Arch Manning will be draft eligible next year. Bryce Underwood of Michigan's going to get good with Whittingham there. Like, next year's quarterback class is deep, and they're all a lot taller than you and stuff. Like, this was the year. Like, you might have been a 1st round draft pick. Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand.
Get it to those combines.
I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. Like, how much is he really making? 6 mil, 5 mil? Okay, like, kid, like the NFL, like, I don't know if they're telling him the NFL will be there. You're not Dante Moore. The NFL is going to be there for Dante Moore.
Right.
You know what I mean? The NFL is going to be there. Next year, Dante Moore's party.
And he's another guy that's going to come out.
Number 2 pick.
Next year. Yeah, another quarterback next year. It's going to be ahead of you.
Exactly. Like, yeah. I mean, like, dude, bad business decision, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention, nothing for nothing, in Mississippi. I mean, how good could it be? It's not like, it's Ole Miss. But all right.
And if I'm an NFL team, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, Scott, but seriously, like, next year in the draft, I'm not going to want him. I'll be like, dude, this kid's scared to play in the NFL. He wanted to stay with his mommy in college. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, let's play against, in college. Like, you want to be a man or not? You want to win a Super Bowl? Nobody gives a crap. Nobody cares about your little SEC or your Apple Cup or your Egg Bowl. You know what I mean? No one cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Tom Brady said the other day. No one cares. I won 7 Super Bowls. Nobody gives. That's what he said. It was funny.
I saw that little clip there.
You got into it with Logan Paul. Logan Paul said he was a good enough athlete, and Tom Brady's like, no, you're not. And he goes, yeah, you can't jump off the rope and do what I do in wrestling. Tom Brody, he goes, listen, it's really cute what you do in wrestling, and I like it, but he goes, I won 7 Super Bowls. Nobody cares. That was funny.
Yeah.
But Brady was getting mad for real. Like
he was. I saw he was really
real.
like, don't try and minimize me.
I scored 19 touchdowns in high school. And he goes, who cares? It was fun.
Yeah.
Because everyone was good in high school. It was fun.
Enjoy the weekend, folks. Go Lakers tonight.